I overheard my Uber driver talking to his wife about not being able to afford their son's birthday present. What I did next changed 3 lives forever, including my own in ways I never could have imagined. It was a rainy Tuesday evening and I was heading home after closing a major deal that would likely earn me a 6-figure bonus. I was exhausted but elated, scrolling through luxury vacation options on my phone when my driver Marco received a call. I know I promised him. Babe, he whispered, thinking I couldn't hear over my headphones. But the car needed repairs and the rent went up again. I can't pull together $80 for the science kit. Maybe next month. Would his voice cracked slightly. He's turning 10. He's never asked for anything this expensive before. I just hate disappointing him again. I pretended to be absorbed in my phone, but my heart sank. I just spent $120 on dinner without a second thought. Meanwhile, this man was working a late night shift, probably his second job of the day, and still couldn't afford an $80 birthday gift for his son. When we arrived at my apartment, I hesitated before getting out. I couldn't help overhearing. I said, "I'd like to buy that science kit for your son." Marco's face flushed with embarrassment. "Sir, I wasn't trying to." "I know you weren't," I interrupted, "but I just closed a deal today that's going to change my life. Let me do this." After some convincing, Marco reluctantly accepted. I ordered the science kit on my phone right there with overnight delivery to his address. It should have been the end of the story, pairing a simple act of kindness, a small dent in my wallet, and the warm feeling of helping someone. But 2 days later, I received an email with a video attached. It showed a wide-eyed boy named Miguel opening the science kit, his face lighting up with pure joy. "Dad, it's exactly the one I wanted." The camera panned to show Marco beaming with pride as if he personally built the kit from scratch. At the end of the video, Miguel looked directly at the camera and said, "Thank you, Dad's friend. I am going to be a scientist now." Something about his earnest declaration struck me deeply. I hadn't thought about what I wanted to be in decades. I just accumulated wealth, chasing the next deal, the next bonus. I replied to Marco's email, asking if I could meet his family properly. That weekend, I joined them for a modest but delicious homemade dinner. Miguel proudly showed me the volcano he'd built from the kit, explaining chemical reactions with infectious enthusiasm during dinner. I learned Marco had been an environmental science teacher in Venezuela before political unrest forced his family to flee. His teaching credentials weren't recognized here, and the recertification process was expensive. Miguel gets his love of science from his father, his wife explained. Marco used to have students winning national competitions that night. I made another impulsive decision. I called a friend who ran an educational nonprofit and arranged for Marco to work as a program coordinator for their after-school science initiative, had our position that would utilize his teaching background while allowing him to pursue recertification. 6 months later, Marco was thriving in his new role. Miguel's school grades have soared with his father's help, and I found something unexpected, a friendship that reminds me why I started working so hard in the first place. Yesterday, I received another video Miguel standing in front of his science fair project, Pern which won first place, Parrot saying, "This is dedicated to my dad, who taught me everything, and to his friend who helped us remember what matters." Sometimes the smallest gestures create ripples we never anticipated, and sometimes when we think we're changing someone else's life, we're actually changing our own.